Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to the FAI Cup final review show. You can already see Keano's a big smiley head on him. We'll get to him in a minute. But record attendance of this one at the Aviva, guys, 37,126. Fantastic to see. Absolutely massive crowd, both sets of fans. We're very good for the most part. I know Bowes was a bit of a complaint because there were so many of them, the South Stand, that you had separate songs here, separate songs there, and it just the mesh didn't work. But the Pats fans were all congregated together, and in general, particularly, I know some people said at times the fans weren't singing and stuff. That's because it's an FAI Cup final. Nerves comes into it as well, guys, by the way. I was as calm as anything. And then the start of the whistle went, first minute went, and I was nervous a wreck all of a sudden. So, yeah, look, it was a great occasion overall, Keane, you'd have to say. Overall, as I say, it was a good atmosphere. Fans really did warm into it. It was a cold day. And, I suppose from a League of Ireland point of view, we need to celebrate that a little bit first.
Yeah, look, I've no voice. So, you're going to have to put up with me for the next little while anyway. Look, honestly, I will never see Pats playing a crowd that big again, probably. For as long as I
never say never.
It was fantastic, and I think that was the benchmark to it. Fantastic to see such a crowd. I know there was over 40,000 tickets sold as well. So, obviously with the COVID and stuff like that, that's why we're down to the 27. But look, what an amazing crowd. And I'm not joking. I was in the North Stand, which I was never there before, and I was amazed by the view. It's fantastic, and in many respects, I actually found it an awful lot better than the South Stand from when I've been there, because I've been to the South Stand a few times with Pats, especially, and I don't know what it was. It was just a fantastic way to watch the game, and it was brilliant. I'm not joking, but as the players are walking out for kick-off to do the national anthems and stuff, I just looked around and it was mad, and I was very lucky to be in the middle, so I had people left and right, but I had people all around you as well, and it really was. The hair stood up in my back the minute they came out. They didn't stick up in my head, but it stuck up in my back, and the minute the whistle went, the atmosphere, and look, for the first couple of minutes I couldn't see anything with the flares. I don't think anyone could see anything, but when that died down, you look at the crowd and you get such a fright, because we've probably the biggest crowd I've probably seen Pats playing was Leggy away. It was probably 25,000. So, then I could be wrong on that, but about 25,000, would say, and that was the biggest event I've seen. It's brilliant to see the crowd, and I hope now, I hope this is the start of something big.
Yeah, it was great to see the flares actually from the East Stand, because you could really see the North, you could really see the South, and that kind of got you in the mood. It also started to get me very nervous before the game as well, obviously. But we'll get into the game, obviously. I suppose we'll start off with Bowes first, and I suppose how they set up, Keane. They went with Kelly in the end, over promise. We weren't sure if he was going to be fit enough to actually start, but they did start him. And the other, I suppose, position down for decision really was Breslin and Wilson. They actually went for Wilson. Wilson actually had a very good game defensively. Now, he wasn't allowed to get forward because he was watching Darragh Burns, so that's another avenue you could look at. But was there anything surprising in the setup you see for Bowes, or anything different?
I'm surprised Georgie Kelly started up front. Didn't think he... I said it to you. I think I obviously wasn't on last week, but I said it's nearly better that they played Georgie Kelly, because I knew he was going to be rushed back, and I knew he was going to be half fit, and they basically I know he had one or two pot shots in the first half, but he didn't do anything at all. He didn't really get in at all. I thought Pats marshalled him well, and I think they marshalled Promise as well when he came on. I thought James Abankwell, for a 17-year-old to come in a stadium like that, I've never seen. I spoke to him. I absolutely love him to bits. What a great fella, and to just see him coming in like that and just fitting in seamlessly, and people might be looking, and people might be saying, "There's Paddy Barrett going off now," and here comes a 17-year-old, and he certainly lived up to it, and he was fantastic. And I even said it to him as well. It's not only there; it was, we played Cork away in the cup, and we were very, very fortunate to get through on penalties. And if it wasn't for James Abankwah at the back and some last-ditch tackles, we could have been in trouble. So, it's fantastic to see. And I have to say, I was delighted for him, but I'm putting my feet up, watch the game, I think, and I'm really going to enjoy it. But, I just thinking Darragh Bourne, especially in the first half, he broke a few times. And we did get in behind a few times in terms of Matty Smith coming, cutting inside, and Sam Bowen had a fantastic chance where he overlapped. And, I think, if I remember, he kind of chipped it, but I think he missed an elbow for a distance, I think. But, we got in behind, and Jamie Lennon had another fantastic chance. Then I think just towards the end of the first half, Bowes started coming into it. I think half time came out around time for Bowes, Like I said, I haven't watched this game back, so we could be way off the scale here.
No, I think you have it right, Keane, to be fair. I watched most of it back as well, to be honest with you. No, I think you're spot on there, actually, with that assessment. I thought Bowes, actually, the first half particularly, were happy to let Pats have the ball. They weren't pressing. They did in different parts of the game. But the first half, I expected a press from Bowes, maybe more so. Maybe Pats were expecting that as well, and it never happened. And because of that, I think it's the first half, it was very cagey, let's be honest. It was very cagey. And, Bowes were happy to let Pats have the ball, as I say, and there weren't too many gaps. As you say, Barrett Burns, and they get him behind a few times. Arguably might have been fouled a couple of times, I'd argue maybe. But the ref didn't give it, so, you do what you do. Bowes looked more dangerous from counter, and Tierney was trying to get through a few times and that kind of thing. And there was a few times, as a Pats fan, you were a bit nervous, as you would be, when you see Tierney running into the box and that kind of thing. But
I think the difference was Pats were defending, but it was very last ditch. It was always like a last tackle, and I don't think Bowes were that last ditch, And I think, that's where Bowes would argue they were probably the better side in that, because, if I'm thinking back, look, I said I could be wrong, but I think Georgie Kelly took a shot from about 6 yards out, and Lee Desmond got across, and I went out for a corner just before the whistle. But there was good chances before that as well, and Pats were very last ditch in the game, and it was one of them games where if one of them balls bounced differently or something like that happened, it could have been in for Bowes. Look, got on to the second half in a second, but I think first half they expected it to be cagey. I expected it to be a big anti-climax. I said that to you, and I said it on here a few times. I don't expect the final to be like the league game a month ago. You can't do that. It's a cup final. At the end of the day, does everything at stake here?
I think as well, sorry, Keith, I think as well, actually, Pat's setup as well. What do you think of their setup? I was a little bit surprised that they went without what you would call a number 9 type striker, and they played Smith and Burns as wingers. They kind of play Forrester and Benson. I don't know if people could see this, but they were kind of like the two further midfielder, and Lennon and Lewis. It was a box midfield, wasn't it? With Forrester, Benson, Lennon and Lewis in particular. And at times, Benson was making the run forward, and at times, Forrester was making the run forward. But there didn't seem to be a link with Smith and Burns in that sense. What did you feel about that overall? The first half, anyway.
It's probably something we haven't really seen from Pats now. And I think we've probably seen it to a certain extent in Shamrock Rovers was away in the summer. Where it was good. I think that's the only time really that we played that. And it didn't work on that night against Shamrock Rovers. But, looking at the game, I thought Robbie Benson was unbelievable. I know Lee Desmond's contribution at the back was second to none, and off the line and stuff like that. That's why he got that's why he got the man of the match. But, I thought Robbie Benson should definitely be up there for man of the match. He was excellent. He got a nasty bang as well in his old head. But, I know he got the winning penalty, but it's not that. It's his work rate and everything that he done. I genuinely believed that he was going to go with Alfie Lewis, Chris Forrester, Jamie Lennon. And I thought he was going to take Alfie off and bring on Robbie Benson after about 60 minutes or so. Or either play Robbie Benson and take him off and bring Alfie on. I didn't expect the 4. And
I expected the front 3, the duo of Burns, King and Smith. I expected that, to be honest with you.
I thought then, in the second half, I think when we brought on Billy King, I couldn't tell you. I'd say after about 60 minutes, I'd say he was really good in the game, and he really came to life. He's back in form. He's been one of our best players this season, and I, th- I think his problem last year was injuries, and his downfall was the injuries. And look, there's no doubt he has some serious pedigree. Like, he's played for Rangers, he's played for Dundee, he's played for Dundee when they were decent, and they played for them when they were a half decent Scottish team. So he has the pedigree, and we knew what he can do. And we've seen the moments that he can bring to you, especially the goal of Finn Harps. And even last year, the most memorable Billy King. If someone asked me Billy King, just think about that Lee Desmond pass and the goal against Cork. He came to life. Another player that I don't think got the credit for what he done there was Jay McClelland. He came into the team. He came on and he was really exceptional. And Jay is the type of player that he'll keep the ball. He'll play it safe and he'll keep the ball. He's not one of these to make a killer pass. But I thought
that said, didn't he play a lovely ball across the Burns? It was very difficult for Burns to get to in time, but it was a lovely little cross, wasn't it?
That's it. Look, Jay is fantastic quality, and he's a player that goes under the radar much in this team, but he always plays in the big games. Stevie always has him in the big games. And fairness to him, he's played centre mid, he's played left wing, right wing, in a number 10, left back. He's played everywhere for us this season. It's fantastic to see. Like, I'm just delighted for the lads like that. But,
second half, Cian, though, in the second half, it seemed to be filtering out big time. You got the feeling, didn't it? It's like almost like no one wanted to win it. I hate that term, actually. No one wanted to win the game. It's a stupid term, really. But no one wanted to lose the game for sure. Nobody wanted to make the mistake in that second half. You could see it. Both teams were nervy.
Yeah, look, it's a cup final, and you're going to be nervous, and there's no getting away from that. I would prefer not to lose a game than go and try and win it, and it's 90-minute games. So in this, we're not with extra time, but in these type of games, you have to play it safe. You have to hold it up. But I think Pat's got it right to a certain extent with Robbie bouncing up top, because he has the quality to hold it up, and he has the quality to make them runs. He's fantastic. He's clever. I personally think Robbie is better deeper, and he can get the ball and influence the game. But for the way both set up, I think Stevie counted it really well. Look, we brought on, like I said, James Abankwa, who obviously Georgie went off, and
there's a few injuries. By the way, the second half had a few stop-start. There was a lot of injuries, but that didn't help the rhythm of the game either, actually, did it? I think Barrett was down for a while as well, wasn't he? There was a couple of other players of both teams. Kieran Kelly was another one.
Yeah, look, we had a couple of injuries, and Kieran went off. I have to say, I thought when I seen Georgie going down and going off, I was good. I thought I didn't want Promise to come on the pitch.
I was worried about that too, yeah.
Look, St. George, I'd never wish injury upon anyone, and I don't like to say it. I know, look, he has a little break now, he'll get himself right. But, he was rushed back for this final, and this is my worry. I said that to you, Keith.
Yeah.
For 3 or 4 weeks ago, they're going to rush him back, and they did. And look, it's, I personally, well, look, it's easy for me to say now because they're after losing the game and stuff, but, we'd be looking at him in extra time. And they're coming on when, let's say, the legs are tired or, stuff like that. But obviously, he went with him from the start. And, just that question, would you rather him on the pitch at the start, or would you rather him on the pitch at the end? And
here's another one throw at you, Cian. You'd rather him on to take a penalty.
Yeah, definitely. And look, fairness, I would have put me money on Keith to put that pen away. I would have put me money on it, put my house on it. And, it was one of them things. But Pat's bringing on Ronan Coughlin changed it for them as well and got us in the upper hand. Then they just petered out, really. Look, Bowes had a couple of hit and miss chances down the other end. Just before
did one chance, didn't they? Yeah, didn't they? One chance came where they had a couple of chances in one opportunity, if you know what I mean. It was very hard to see, but it was a couple of little blocks and stuff.
I could be wrong. That Ross Tierney one and Vico down, was that an extra time?
I think that was an extra time, wasn't it? The feet save from Ross Tierney's header. Yeah, I think that was extra time, Keane. Yeah,
No, not the header. No, not the header. When you got in with the shot, and he was
the shot. Sorry, that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was in the second half. Yeah, the header was extra time. Yeah,
yeah. And I have to say, look, the game petered out. Then extra time starts, and it's like two teams have a new lease of life.
Pats took over though, didn't they? In extra time, we'll get to the Forest goal in a second, but that was at the end of the first half. But Pats were starting to look more dangerous. They were getting down the right in particular. Pats was right, get crosses into the box, and if it landed to the right player, there was a chance and bits and pieces like that. They did take over a bit in the first half of extra time, and do you want to talk about the Chris Forrester goal?
Yeah, look, they definitely got ahead, and look, Forrester gets the ball. He had a fairly quiet game, in fairness to him. He got a chance, and that's what the good players do. That's if you go back through the cup finals, go back right through cup finals. Seanie Maguire probably didn't touch the ball for Cork, and he won it in the last kick of the game. Akel Campion was the same with Cork. Richie Towell didn't get a sniff one year, and he goes and scores the winner against Cork. And that's just the way it is. These players.
It's all about big moments, Keane, isn't it?
Yeah. And look, what a fantastic goal, an individual goal. And
you know what does it for me, Keane? I'll tell you quickly. The touch initially away from Buckley was just sublime, wasn't it? I mean, that touch.
We all know what his quality is, and we all know how good he is, but to see him showcasing it on the Aviva stage there, I think it makes the goal better looking than it actually was. And it was a fantastic finish, but I think if that was in Richmond Park, it wouldn't be talked about,
Well, see, that's normal in Richmond Park, is what you're saying. But I know what you mean. But on the big occasion, it takes a lot to do that on a big occasion.
Fantastic. I'm delighted for Gate, and look, what a man, and what he's given to the club, and it works both ways. We've been patient with Gate, and and now he's repaying us, and so it works both ways. It's not just always Gate giving it to us. We give it back, and we adore him at this club, and hopefully he hangs on to hunt him over next season, and we have gift because I think it's vitally important.
Yeah. Just unbelievable goal. I mean, you just I didn't see it initially, to be honest. Yeah, I was there. I couldn't see exactly. No, I did see it, but I didn't see the whole thing. I didn't see the touch away. Yeah, I seen when he was near the box, and what impressed me is Keane. He had his head up the whole time as well. He was looking and looking and looking and looking. So he wanted to try and make the right decision, and eventually he did make the right decision, because I think he was right to go alone anyway, because I don't think there was a proper ball out to the right or a proper ball out to the left. It would have killed the momentum of the run.
Look, it, and obviously the second half starts, and
you think Pats, I'll just cut in that key quickly. By that point, you think that's it in many ways. You think Pats have it now. The break actually will help them at half time, because just settle down after scoring. But the first attack, a ball scored through a Rory Feely header. And from a Pats point of view, you're obviously got it. But from a Bows point of view, an unbelievable response to going 1 down.
Look, what a fantastic response. And Rory's a great man, and he beat Lee Desmond. He got a run on Lee Desmond, and once Rory gets a run on you, that's it. And it was talking to Lee, and Lee didn't want to be the one that caused Pats the cup, and I was talking to him all week nearly, and the last 2 days especially. But he just got a run on him, and it's one of them things that happens. And you're not going to beat Rory Feely in the year, and if it's on target, it's in, and that's the way. It wasn't
a free header either. You have to say, Desmond went with him. He just got beaten, and you can't blame if you let him run, say, on his own. Then I think you can kind of say, oh look, he let him go. That's disappointing. But he went with him. It's just Feely. He's Rory Feely. He's a big lad.
Rory had an awful lot to do, and he took it well, and I think he's obviously disappointed not to start the game, and because it's really touch and go with two fullbacks at Bows, and whoever was going to be missing out, people would be talking about them, and anyway, so Rory came on, made a statement, scored a screamer, and then all of a sudden it's all Bows, and Pats are hanging over their life, and you had the Ross Tierney header.
What a save!
like he just proves like that. And then he had 3 saves on the trot, and we're.
And the goal line clearance. And Pat, you're right, Pats are hanging on for dear life at that stage. I'm hoping for penalties at that stage, I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. And, just to be honest with you, I needed a new pair of jocks. I was in the goal, and you're watching it down the other end, and to be honest, you're just hearing the noise as well. And
it clears off the line, Keane. We'll get to that because I hadn't a clue. People would have watched the vlog, and it's clear I hadn't a clue what happened. I thought Feely, I think it was Feely. I thought he missed an open goal. I couldn't see if it hit the post. If there was, I think Desmond cleared offline. Obviously, I've seen it later, but I think Yaris was in his way. It looked weird. Like, it's like, how did that go in? That wasn't in. How did that go in? It was like, I thought it was in. I was waiting for that to go in.
Look, being honest with you, every dog has that day, and we've been through some absolute shit in this club the last couple of years, and I think that's a little bit of luck, and you need that bit of luck. That bit of luck it went our way, and look, unfortunately for Bohemians, it didn't go both way in the game, and it's just a little bit of luck, and that's the bit of difference that wins you a cup, and it was a cup, and I genuinely thought like everything was set up for a Bows home game, and the carnival atmosphere and stuff like that. It was supposed to be Bows. And I says, look, just to sum it all up, I bet you they'll have the penalties down there as well. And, I was delighted once you see Hennessy point down their way. I was delighted. I had a great view. It was literally right behind the goal, right in the front row. I kind of took some of the green netting out of the way, so I could get in.
That's a class view. But on to the penalties anyway. Like, obviously it was 1-1 then, and as you said, Pats were brilliant the first half extra time. That was their best spell in the whole match. Bows, second half extra time, best spell in the whole match. We said by that point, Pats hung on a little bit, but yeah, as you say, every team needs, like, you can't win a cup without getting a bit of luck. You really can't, no matter who the team you are. It did come down to luck in the end, I suppose, and it goes to penalty shootouts, and it's anyone's game at that point. And obviously the first couple penalties were scored, then Chris Forrester misses, which would surprise a lot of people, but I always say in penalty shootouts, sometimes the guys that miss that you don't expect, and vice versa. It does become a lottery in a way. It wasn't a terrible penalty, by the way. Talbot gets down well. We wouldn't have hit as well as he would have liked, but it wasn't the worst penalty in the world. And then I think Keith Ward was next to step up, and he misses. And no, sorry, I'm wrong. No, Tyreek Wilson, I beg your pardon, had a chance to make it 4-2. And I'm thinking personally there on the sideline or whatever, I'm thinking, he scores this, that's it. There was a feeling he scores this, that's it. But he misses. He hits his wide to Yaris's left, and I think Yaris saves that, by the way. I looked at the replay a few times. If it's going in the corner, he's getting there.
Not a good view. It was right behind, like I said, just to the left hand side of the post, and just like, look, it's obviously not nice, and there'll be a lot of Bows fans listening to this, but just absolute sheer joy and relief, and just seeing it going wide, and like, I can't even describe it. I really can't. Just that feeling, and then obviously we go and score the next penalty, and
McClellan, excellent penalty too.
Then we're back in it. It's draw again. We're back level, and then I'm not.
Wardy just slightly leans back, unfortunately for him, and he hits the bar. But it's a tough one. Penalties is tough. Let's be honest. You're nervous as couldn't be more. Look, I think people will think that's fair enough, to be honest. But I think we're doing a good job anyway on being fair, if you like, as well. But yeah, Wardy leans back obviously slightly, hits the bar, and obviously there's a chance for Robbie Benson to win it. And to be honest, no better man, if I'm honest with you. As you said, he had an excellent match. I don't know how he found the energy to play 120 minutes.
Oh yeah, he wasn't on the fifth penalty.
No?
I believe it was Dara Bones. I believe
really?
So.
Okay.
And look, Robbie says, I want this, and I'm taking it, and he took it. And look, we won the cup. If you look at the celebrations, it was great. He scores, he tucks it away. All the players, I was in a great position. They all ran to me, thank Jesus. But if you look back on the record, you'll just see them all jump on top of me, breaking me glass. Well, I couldn't say a thing. But look, honestly, they were all on top of me, and I can't even describe the feeling. It was just, it was all the years of shoey and all the years of tough and all the hurts that we've gone through and seen our club being an easy touch and an easy target, and it was all gone away. Like in that moment, just that one cup, and honestly, it meant everything to me to just have that, to just score. It took me about 5 minutes. I just couldn't get my act together. I was crying and everything, and then
you don't have to get your act together in those situations, Keith.
No, but to just see it going in and the players celebrating again, and I have to say it was just one of the best days of my life, and there's no getting away from it. I think when we won the cup in 2014, and we won the league in 2013, I kind of thought, I kind of didn't appreciate it. I thought, we'd probably be in it again, or we'd probably be thereabouts in the league or stuff, and I didn't appreciate it. And I sort of promised myself that when we go there, I'm just going to take it all in. I'm just going to really enjoy the moment. And, I have to say, I was buzzing. I was absolutely over the moon. And it really did. It meant the absolute world to me. You're going up and down the country every week, supporting your team. And it all comes down to that one penalty. And that's what it was, And,
I'm going to try it, actually. Roland Coughlin's penalty kind of skiffled it. That was cool, wasn't it?
I was talking to him last night in Tampa Bar. We were all out last night. I was talking to him. Rawa says, I'm not joking you. I seen you jumping. And I knew you were going to miss it. That's what I said to him. I just seen that little jump. I was like, oh no, I'm honest, I don't like that. I can't stand it.
I was shitting myself, I'd be honest.
Look, cool as a daisy. He was just fantastic.
He did. You mentioned earlier, you touched on it there. I'll just get onto it there as well. I thought when he came on, it did make a big difference. Suddenly we had a focal point. He was chasing everything down. His touches were good. His layoffs were good. All that kind of stuff was very good.
Yeah, look, just think back at the penalties. Like I said, I can't wait to watch your bike. I really can't. And I'm looking forward to it because we've been starved to this for so many years, and that easy touch just all went away there. And, what a group of players. And look, I'm not saying that because we won the cup. Bohemians, it's a double whammy loss for them now. That they're after losing the cup and they're out of Europe, and that's massive. Like in terms of everything that happens, that's massive for the club for next season. And I think, thankfully for both sake, they went through a couple of rounds in Europe this year. So,
I think financially they're okay, to be fair.
Financially there's no problems, but you wouldn't say no to an extra 200 grand, and that's the thing. But it's a lottery, and Bows came arguably in the second half of extra time. They probably should have won it with the chances they had, and they will feel disappointed and they will feel aggrieved. And I've lost cup finals, so I know more than anyone about losing cup finals, and they're horrible. And I do feel for them because they did have a fantastic support, and that doesn't go unnoticed. And I've great respect for every Bows fan, and everyone knows that, and everyone in the league, not only Bows fan, everyone in the league was fantastic, and the utmost respect for them, what they done and what they brought to the occasion.
It is tough for them, as you say. It is tough. It's very tough to lose the penalties. I mean, we would have been probably even more gutted if we'd lost the penalties. That's the loss in the 90 minutes, let's say, for example. It's just a tough way to lose as well.
Yeah, look, it's a tough way to lose. And look, I don't envy them, but, we've no doubt Keelan will be back next year, stronger than ever, with a side, and they'll be hungrier than ever. But, they need to be consistent.
Yeah.
Their season 5 weeks ago, it was all about the cup final. They weren't even. It was all about winning the cup, and they weren't even in the cup final at that time. So it's. I just think Bows need to get themselves into Europe again next year. Look, fantastic. I'm not slagging them at all. They're a fantastic club. I'll never slag them. It was just Pat's day, and that's the way it is. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. Unfortunately for Bows, it was them. Unfortunately for Pats, it was us. But it was an occasion, and. Just to see Pats lift her up, I've no doubt it was brilliant. But I'm just going to focus on Bowes again for 2 seconds. Just the club is on the brink of extinction. They held up a sign, I think it was 10 years ago, saying this isn't over or something like that. And, there they are, 40,000 people in the Aviva, and playing in a cup final with some fantastic players and a club that people are very proud of and proud to be associated with.
And a stable club as well off the pitch. I think that's worth saying as well.
If that's not progress, I don't know what is, because I know they didn't win the cup. Obviously, Keith is there 7 years now and they haven't won a cup, but they haven't won anything. But how much he's done for the club, and it's not over for Bowes. It really isn't over, and I expect them to come back next year and they'll be challenging for Europe and they'll be challenging for the cup again. They've got a taste of that cup final now. They know what it's about, and they want to be there again next season. Look, honestly, it's not nice to see teams lose, but it was Pat's day, and it was fantastic. The support, I think people have been getting an awful lot of messages of Pat's fans and saying, I'm delighted for you. You go up and down the country, I'm delighted for people like you and all. I don't say that. I'm happy for everyone. I don't care if your last Pats match was the 2014 Cup final. We're all Pats men. We're all the same people. I'm no better than anyone else, or you're no better than anyone else.
Keane, I agree with you 100%. Wouldn't it be great now as well? Sometimes things like that, and you see kids at the games and things like that, and that can kind of get them emotion as well, can't it? You can really make kids, Daddy, I want to go to Richmond Park next year. I want the season ticket for Christmas. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
It's a shame. It's a shame that this is the last game, because for some reason, I think if Pats and Bowes played at home next week, I think we'd probably have 4,000 or 5,000 at each game if we could.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that the next game is in February, and it really, there's nothing you can do about that, of course. But,
the players will be happy with that, though.
Yeah, of course. Look, the celebrations. Look, honestly, like I says to myself, I'm going to suck every bit out of this cup. Because I took it for granted. In 2014, I have pictures of 2014 all around my room, and it was a special day for me. But
just to get into that very quickly, I mean, what's that? 4 FAI Cup wins for Pats. 2014 was the first in 55 or 60 years. Sorry if I have it wrong, but
53 years.
53 years. Sorry, 53 years. So, and then you went 2 in 7 years. So you're right. You just don't know when these things are going to happen again, if they're ever going to happen again.
That's it, exactly. And so I said I'm not going to take it for granted. I'm going to go and enjoy myself. So I went out after the game. Obviously the players had a meal and stuff like that. I went back to the Red Cow, and what a night. What a night. Now we had to go 12 o'clock because the cover comes out after 12 o'clock supposedly. But honestly, the cup, it was nightclub, and Dave, everyone in Laurels, and just unbelievable, just to sit there with the players and just to soak it all in and soak the emotion and the celebrations.
And as well as that, Kieran, you're right, as well as that, the players, what I mean, it could be a long season and it's a tough season, and when you win something, you got to milk that as a player as well. Let's be honest about it. You got to enjoy yourself and let your hair down, and you have to do it. Even Bowes, I would say, losing the final, I would even say they should do it. Any team, because it's a long season. You put a lot into it.
Like I says, we went out to the Red Cow, the players afterwards, and the cup, and Kenny Brown. There was great people there involved, and coming back to enjoy the place, and it's amazing to see. And obviously then we went back. We had a couple of parties. I'm not going to name names, but a certain few players we had some great crack. Let's just say, let's leave it at that.
And then there was McDowell's on Mondays, isn't that right? I think that was better crack for the sounds of things, but the looks of things. Am I right?
That was one of the best days of my life yesterday. That's why my voice.
Class.
If anyone wants to have a look there, I have it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever I have it on. It was mayhem. We were all on the tables, on the chairs. There was spills in the air. Big thanks to in Birmingham, because Birmingham's after Birmingham organised the trad band to come in and play, and he organised that and he got everyone together. But it's easy to captain a team when you're winning. So the likes of Gerard O'Brien, the likes of Conor Kenny, it's easy to captain a team when you're winning games. Ramo's been captain for us through the most awfulest times. He's took us out of so many holes. And you know what? Just to see him lift that cup with Christy O'Neill, that got me. And I swear to God, I was so emotional when I seen that. Just seeing Christy O'Neill holding up the cup because he's a Pats man through and through. He came into the club with Johnny Mack. Johnny Greeley come into the club and it just...
Was Johnny Mack there, by the way? Was he there one of the days?
Johnny was there. I have a couple of pictures with Johnny. Fantastic fella, absolutely. I love the man to pieces. Just like, I have the pleasure of coaching with Johnny. But I'm looking at last night, and then we all went back up to
Tim Youngs, right? So shout out to Tim Youngs.
What a place! It's Birmo's local, and
you want to see in Birmingham go to Tim Youngs.
The cup and lovely, the same crowd band over in McDowell's are in there, so the same songs again. Honestly, fantastic. And then I don't know how, but we all ended up Temple Bar, and all the players were in there. We were in the Dublin, and if Gareth Kelleher coming in, Stevie coming in himself, all the coaching staff. It was honestly, what a night.
The bigger question is who wasn't there. They were all there. It wasn't the expectation at the start of the year to win it. You always know there's a chance you might win a cup, and it's a hope, isn't it? But to finish second in the league and win the cup, what more can you ask for, really, Keane?
Honestly, I'm so proud of this team. I really am. Like, I just love the team to pieces. I love the club. I love the people around the club. And I think everyone deserves this moment to just enjoy it. Look, whatever happens with Stevie, whatever happens with anything, that's all for another day. Let's enjoy our week. Let's get back out again today and enjoy ourselves, because when's the next time we're probably going to lift that cup again? So, I'm delighted for everyone connected with the club. I'm delighted for Gareth who, our club's in fantastic, safe hands. And, I think everyone deserves this. Not only the players, not only the staff, but the fans.
Volunteers as well, and people that work in the club. And,
It really touches everyone. The whole of Inchicore gets a lift. Inchicore was bouncing. I don't know if you've seen the scenes with the bus. And, it's things like that the players, they always had that close bond. But
it was lost a little bit, but it's come back, hasn't it? Big time.
Yeah, but I know for a fact, like I says to you before, Keith.
Yeah.
I don't care if we don't win another league or a cup for the rest of my life. I just want. Obviously, you'd love to, and you want your club to be successful. If we have a team that gives everything for this club, that does the hardest and makes us as fans proud, whether we win anything or not, that's all we ask for. Winning stuff for Pats is a bonus. Like I was talking to John Mountney and stuff like that, and Robbie Benson, and they've won cup after cup, league after league. They said that the cup, this one, they never celebrated like it, and it just shows you what a club Pats is. And I've no doubt Bows would have been the exact same. And, I don't mean this to be funny, but a lot of Bows fans would probably have to turn it off. We know, but if there's anyone that they are going to come back, and I do it, I mean that, and it's the serious progress made from this Bows side as well. And we had the privilege of playing each other in the cup final. That doesn't happen very often. Someone has to win it, someone has to lose it.
You say another day, Ward scores the penalty, McClellan scores his. Who knows? That's just penalties for you as well.
Yeah, but look, I'm just buzzing. It's like, I can't wait. Round 3.
Round 3. Look, Keane, you look forward to your round 3. I'm going to let you go. Guys, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. Obviously, Keane's emotional, which is fair enough. I'm trying to keep mine a bit in check, to be honest with you. But look, I thought we'd put up a decent show anyway. So if you're a Bulls fan, Pats fan, let us know what you think. And I suppose, go on the Saints, Keano.
On the Saints.